Bill Belichick is the coach of the UNC Tar Heels. I like to imagine somebody that, went into a coma 10 months ago, wakes up. Bill Belichick's coach of the UNC Tar Heels. Oh, not only did I go into a coma, I've seemed to jump into a different universe. I see what's going on here. In this one, has he won 6 national championships? Nope. Still the Super Bowls. He's just the coach of UNC. All right. We'll have to buckle down and get used to this one. Everybody's still getting used to it, but Bill Belichick at the podium, that's the same in a lot of different ways. Earlier today, as part of the preseason for the Tar Heels, their training camp for the football season, Belichick was available to the media, answered some questions such as where the emphasis has been when it comes to install for the Tar Heels thus far through training camp.
You can install a lot of the passing game with no pads on, and guys run around, and honestly there's not a lot of contact, or you can eliminate the contact part and get the timing part of the passing game and the coverages and so forth. The running game's a little different story. So today's our second day in pads, full pads. So we're going to concentrate more on the running game because this is our chance to concentrate on it. It's not just knowing what to do, but it's actually working on the fundamentals of doing it. The double team blocks, the back blocks, the kick out blocks, the backs reading those blocks and so forth. So today the emphasis will be more on that because it's our opportunity to do it. Tomorrow, when we won't be in full pads, there'll be more emphasis on the passing game, third down passing, red area passing, 2-minute drills, things like that. So we try to, a little bit based on what we're wearing, emphasize what's, what we can get the most out of.
It doesn't change. It's so funny. It's a work of art. It's a different sleeveless hoodie, but it's the same Bill Belichick. I love when people think that's quirky. When it's like, oh, you know what? If you ask a bad question, he doesn't answer. But if you ask him a question about long snapping technique, he'll give you 6,000 words. I'm like, so you don't know what a filibuster is. When you ask him a question about long snapping and he gives you 6,000 words, then that's his whole 15-minute media availability and he leaves. He just gave us, and we know how much time was in that answer because of, we just played the clip, 55 seconds of it's harder to judge running game until you can hit pads. Passing game, you can do 7-on-7. Now let me do like I used to do in middle school when you needed a 5-page term paper and you just say Columbus arrived in a land that was new to him and looked around at all of the new and unique things that he had not seen before. And it's like, you are just saying the same thing over and over again. He's running the clock out on the media availability. Let's see if he did any better with this next question. Where has the team improved the most?
I'd say the biggest improvement has just come as a team, embracing the program that we're installing, which is consistency, dependability, physical and mental toughness, just being productive every day. Everything we do is important, and all the details are important, and so embracing that and embracing the little things and doing the little things right and so forth is it's hard, but that's what it takes. And so gradually I think we've done a better job of that. We're making a lot less mistakes than we made earlier, not just because we've done it more, but because I would say we care more about making sure that the little things are done right. So if we can do that, that'll bode well for us in the future. If we don't, eventually those little things will keep the big things from happening the way we want them to. So we'll see how that comes out, but I think that's a big thing for us.
Goodness. What has the team improved on most?
Being a team.
Hustle, heart, determination, work, focus, effort, buzzwords, synergy, dynamic, unique processing. It's like, felt like I was watching a PowerPoint of a startup business where they're just like, we are a global homegrown network of synergized individuals powered by passion. And it's like, you haven't said a darn thing about what you do yet. There's Billy Belichick. By the way, like that is what you get, right? I'm not expecting anything else. I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying if you go to a rock concert, you don't expect polka music. If you go to a Bill Belichick press conference, you don't expect you know what? Let's be open about it. Here's where our position battles stand, and as far as what we improve on most, we have a tight end that really nobody knows about who's stood out. He's going to be a huge part of our offense week 1. Like, you're not going to get that from Bill Belichick. Instead, you're going to get the team improved with team. Thanks, Bill. I do have a conversation or a observation on something that UNC might have to adjust. From the moment Belichick took over, from the moment it was even hinted that he'd be coming to the college ranks, 33rd NFL team. We're going to run it like a pro program. We're going to get you, meaning the players, more prepared for the next level than anything you could possibly believe. And it's been echoed, and it's been repeated, and it's been echoed. And multiple times I've said right here on the show, what does that mean? Well, maybe Tom Brady can help explain it. Tom Brady was with Joel Klatt, Fox, one of their preview conversations, long interview. And he was asked what UNC football players should expect with Bill Belichick being their head coach. Brady would know as well as anybody. And here's Brady's response.
What they're going to get is obviously the most prepared, the most hardworking coach that I'd ever been around. If you go to that school, you will be prepared to play at the next level. He's going to teach you the right fundamentals, the right techniques. He's going to have a high expectation for you, and you're going to develop a lot. That's what I know.
Oh, they're going to get ready for the next level. You're going to develop. I have to admit that if I were on Belichick's inner circle, if I were at his Knights of the Decision-Making round table, if he listened to me for any kind of guidance, I think I would have been wrong about this as well, because with Belichick going to college, how do you not lead every conversation with, I'm going to prepare you for the NFL? I thought that was going to be like mic drop in every recruiting situation, right? He was going to be recruiting against all of these other college coaches, and he was going to say, yeah, those college coaches think they can get you ready. I know I can get you ready for the NFL. And I thought then he would drop the mic, he would walk out, and then he would just sit there and wait by the fax machine for the commitments from 5 stars and transfers to just flow into Chapel Hill. Hasn't worked that way. And you know, as anything in life, if it's not working the way you think it is, you've got to try to find where did we go wrong? What's the issue? Let's try to diagnose this. I don't know if 17 to 20-year-olds are as forward-thinking as we think they should be. If I'm in that situation, I recognize if I take a little NIL money less, right, and I still get NIL money, but I take a little less in exchange for the best possible chance at making it to the NFL and making the bananas money, then okay, that's a trade-off I might be willing to make. At 17 years old, you put $100,000 in front of somebody and a promise of maybe more down in the future if you work hard and listen to your mentor, versus $200,000 somewhere else. You're kind of going, that extra $100 or extra $100,000 is like a G-Wagon. Why don't we go there?
You buy a lot of sneakers with that.
You can do a lot. That's a lot of balling out at the bar on Saturday. Like it's a lot of cash for somebody at 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old who the pros still feels so far. It might be more about the money right now. Like it might be more of the what can you do for me right now, rather than the if you show up and you listen and for this amount of years, I can get you ready for the pros. It might be like, yeah, but in the meantime. And then you got to come up with an answer to that. Well, in the meantime, where's the cash? Where's all of this? How can you pay competitively with other schools and everything else? I don't think it's a smart decision-making necessarily by the players. I do think they should be thinking, like, get yours, especially if you're in a situation at home where you need the cash, then, yeah, that's different. Like, if you need to get your family out of a situation, if you need to get yourself out of a situation, you go to wherever the money can get you out of that situation. But if you have the ability to say, all right, I'm not going to make my decision with money as the first, money is the main priority, I can make a decision where setting myself up for a potential career, and then the money can follow, I think that's a smart way. I just don't know if there's a ton of 5-star 17-year-olds thinking that way.
Yeah, especially if there's a school like, if I'm a defensive lineman and Georgia's calling me and they're going to offer me a lot of money, especially the way Georgia puts out NFL defensive linemen, it's hard to say no. It's hard to say no.
I think one of the top ways Texas Tech is recruiting 5-stars like a whirlwind right now, and reportedly they're just flush with cash. They just have money. That's the one that opened my eyes because I'm going like, oh, if you go to Georgia, like you said, or Clemson and you're a defensive lineman and you get paid top dollar, you don't feel like you're sacrificing anything because they also crank out top draft picks at those positions all the time.
Yeah.
Texas Tech doesn't as much.
No.
And the fact that players are still going there over a school like UNC with Belichick, over a school like Georgia, or a school like Alabama or Michigan or whoever else is you think the top of the top is, that makes me go, oh yeah. I think money might be way above everything else in the priority order, not just slightly where everybody is leaning. Even if Tom Brady says it, which is crazy.